Alright, it is 10:18 a.m. and I had, I believe, a total of 4 trades, and part of me wants to just, not feel so good because out of those 4 trades, I only ended up positive. It was $2.60. It feels like maybe I should just trade larger. It just feels so dumb to trade so much and it just makes so little. But I know that the learning experience is there, and yeah, let's go ahead and go over it. And because there was a larger amount of trades, I'm gonna have to start from here, the oldest trade first. But there were a few morning panic bounce plays, and I did miss the ultimate one, but I was trying to get in, and I just didn't get filled. And I believe it was 3 trades with INTK and one with TGGI, and the first one was just a morning panic bounce play, 5,000 shares at 936. That was at 376 right here. 376 was my entry right here. As you can tell, it didn't work out, and I got out at 937 at 372, which was right here when it looks like it was starting to get to the point where it's gonna break the day low. I actually I just got confused because it's not in the same order. I was in at 376 again, 936 right here, and I got out 372 the next minute when it looks like it was going to break the day low, which it did, which is why, I did my best there, and I did a good job getting out when it got near the day low, and I was able to get out before it broke out of it, and it did downtrend. It got to 35, and then I did try that again at 940. I was in 5,000 shares at 356. 940 was right here. 356. I had a pretty good entry here at 940. And, going with what I went over in the weekly recap, it seems like a lot of the setups of last week, I tried, it didn't work out when I got in, but then it eventually worked out. And I wanted to avoid that this week by, trying again if it looks like the setup is going to play out this time. And maybe I was just in too early the first time, which seems like the case here. And again, I was in at this level 356 at 940. Very hard to lose money with an entry right there. Let me flip it back so it's the way I normally have it. I was out most of my position, 3,000 shares at 942, and that was 365, so 942 was right here. 365, so probably when I thought there might be a top here, I got out most of my position with the goal of again, getting the VWAP, which again it ultimately did here. I just wasn't able to get filled there, but I did have a mistake with this one, and I sold the last 2,000 shares at 363 at 943 right here. I could have been more patient and only have gotten out when it looks like it's gonna break the day low, which was right here at the time, but I decided to sell because it just seems like there was somebody with a lot of shares that they were trying to sell, but that was a trade there. Entry here, and I believe a sell here and a sell right about here. And I was in again after this, a new setup with a new stock, and that was TGGI. And this was a morning panic bounce play. Now I did trade a $5 risk level, which probably is part of why I only made $2.06 out of all of these trades with INTK, because as you can see with INTK, the previous close was 395, which is right here, and because it had like some price action here, this was a bit of a gap up. So when it got to this level and it sold into here, it wasn't a true morning panic bounce play in that, it was at, let's say for example, it opened at this price, and it also closed at this price on Friday, and they had a downtrend. No, this was like a bit of a gap up, so I had that in mind, and I did trade TGGI. It wasn't super ideal the way it looked, but I did see how it broke this trend line, and the main reason why I got in this trade at 945 177 right here, 945 177 was my entry right here. I got in this because of the fact that it really looked ideal, and that the level 2 had like a 1 million share bidder at like 175. So I figured, okay, well, the day low is just 176, 175-ish level with that 1 million share sell, not seller, but bidder at the bid. If it's gonna fail this downtrend and then it starts wiping out the person at the bid with 1 million shares, I should be able to, in theory, get out by then. And then, that was a low risk trade, especially because it's down, and this thing can also make a move towards the upside. Very similar with INTK in that the previous close was 185, but it had like this price action all the way up here. So again, it wasn't an ideal morning panic bounce play for that reason, but I did like the support at the bid. I was in it for that reason, and it did make a quick spike. And normally when it has like a low volume quick spike like this, I normally just want to get out because I don't want to play games. So I had this big green candle, and that's when I got out at 181 at 9:45. As you can see, I was actually, yeah, in and out. It seems like the same minutes. I probably got I probably got exited here at 9:45, and it said I was in at 9:45, which doesn't make sense. No, I guess this was the same candle. Yeah, so I was basically in right here, and I got out. It says 181, so I'm gonna guess I placed my order, at 9:45, but I didn't get filled until later because it says I was out at 181, and this is clearly 180. So I'm gonna have to check for the exact time, but in theory, I was in right here, and I got out right here rather quickly. Yeah, the volume wasn't there, and it was also close to VWAP at 183. Had a slight downtrend, never broke the day low, but I've seen this a lot of times, but with more volume than this, and then it didn't make that move past VWAP, and it, came back, and it's looking pretty cool, but again, the volume is just isn't really there. And then I had one more trade with INTK. Notice that I traded here only 1,000 shares. Just wanted to really get some experience, and this one didn't work out. Well, this was a morning panic bounce play double bottom, so I was in at 9:48, and that was 36. Right here, 9:48, 36. So I hit the ask, and I was in right here at 9:48. And why was I in? Here's in theory the morning panic bounce play. Here's the bottom spikes, small spikes, but then it comes back, doesn't break the day low. That's the idea. Double bottom, maybe a higher low. I might change it to a higher low because it didn't like drop to the very bottom. But I'm in here, and maybe the goal is that it gets towards VWAP. And as you can see, I was in just 1,000 shares. So I said, all right, let me actually try to be patient with this one, and only cut it if it breaks the day low or it looks like it's about to break the day low. Only if it does that, I'm gonna get out of the trade. It was uptrending. It did get to 367, 368. I did throw in an order. Let me see if I can yeah, let me see my showed verified cancel. You can see I ultimately tried to sell at 374 at 950. Right here at 950. I did place an order to sell at 374. I never got there. I thought maybe I could sell here, not at VWAP, but just in case it continues this momentum, which it did, obviously you can see right there. And then I did try to get out at 35 at 951. Right here, yeah, 951 right here. When I got to the day low at 35. I tried to get out. I didn't get filled, which sucked because ideally I would have gone out there, but that didn't happen. I did get out at 34.5 at 951. Again, that's me trying to sell when it looks like it might break the day low, and it did break it. I wasn't able to get out in time, so I had to place another order and get out at 345, but I saved myself from this, and ultimately this thing didn't really uptrend. It didn't really bounce because obviously there was somebody with a lot of size that they were trying to sell, and it wasn't letting it bounce. So once this downtrend happened and it broke the day low here, had a big panic, and you can see big volume, and now, okay, the big seller got wiped out. The same thing I was talking about in the weekly recap. Probably panicked, sold, and got rid of all of his shares, and now it finally had a nice spike. And at 954, I just immediately felt like if I didn't, because this order I believe was above the ask, I just didn't get filled, and I just felt like maybe my order got ignored. I tried to get in at 954 at 325, never got in. At one point it was dropping back here. It looks like maybe it was gonna maybe get my thing executed at the bid, but then I canceled the order. It never got to 3250 again, and it made a nice move from ideally this 32.5 level to 36, which is a nice percent gain. I don't know how much that is, maybe 10%, at least 10%. Yeah, give or take 10% was this move right here. And my mistake here was that this was it. This was the actual morning panic bounce play, not like hindsight 2020, but because the big volume was here, that all of this price action here wasn't able again to make a move towards the upside, because of the fact that somebody had a lot of shares and eventually he got wiped out, and now it offered a move instead of 2,000 shares. Maybe I should have traded. This is one where I could have traded 20,000 shares, right? Because this was it. It had a big volume, plenty of, volume to also trade 20,000 shares or something even larger, like 50,000 shares. But ideally for me, 20,000 shares, and that was my mistake. I tried to get in just 2,000 shares, and maybe if I had in a 20,000 share order, I would have gotten filled because maybe my order was just too small. They didn't give a care about it. So that was the issue there. That was my only mistake, I think, with all of this trading. And maybe if I had a larger size again, I might have gotten filled. Maybe not, but this offered the ultimate turnaround, and this would have been super nice. So again, I have 4 trades, and I don't know if I'm going to trade anything else. I never traded IOUS because it never offered a morning panic bounce play. ICOA, nothing. Although if this has like a big volume panic, this would be nice for a morning panic bounce play perhaps. TGGI, again, looks nice, but it would have been better if it had more volume. Nothing here. I haven't really looked at this one, and I guess this one is uptrending, so I'll make an update later. 4 trades there. Yeah, I just missed the ultimate turnaround, but also at the same time, I should have had, again, a lot more shares. And then at that point, maybe I would have been filled. Alright, it is 7:37 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I finished up just $2.69. And again, in the future, maybe, ideally, if the same thing can happen, I can actually be a part of INTK or whatever the stock is going to be. And the actual turnaround, I traded this, right here, didn't work out. This one kind of worked, not really too ideal. And this one was the big move. The big volume, max panic, and a nice move towards VWAP, and it got past it too. Hopefully I can be a part of this, and again, maybe if I had more shares, I would have been able to have been filled there. HMBL was the only other setup that I saw that could have been something that I would have taken, and I did see this right here. I just thought it was a bit iffy, like I just haven't really seen intraday breakouts work with OTCs, but this one actually did it. It broke the level here, and it did make a move from this 14.99 level to 15.5, and one more follow-up move to almost 16. So this one actually did offer something, which is surprising, and it's good if it can continue to uptrend and maybe be something that can play out for a while, and maybe in the future it can also qualify for a proper morning panic bounce play, and maybe after a nice uptrend it can actually be able to do them nicely. I guess IOUS did a breakout here. I wasn't a part of it, and I don't know if I would have taken it. It looks like it was a bit jumpy and low volume anyway. Nothing with OZSC. Besides this initial move, that was my trade with TGGI, in here and out here, or maybe, no, definitely not here because it said 181. Just to confirm, it was at 181. I like it though. If it had more volume, it would have been something I could have tried trading again. And yeah, that's really about it. I'm just gonna call it off. Didn't get the nice move right here, but at least I tried. And again, perhaps if I actually traded it with in theory, a right amount of shares, a larger amount of shares, I could have been filled. But maybe my puny order was ignored for that reason. But hey, I'll try it again next time, and hopefully I can be a part of it.